$10, $15, $20 on Pica Rubio. 5, 10, 20 on Escuela de Oro. Pica Rubio against Escuela de Oro. Escuela de Oro against Pica Rubio.
I'll bet 100 on Pica Rubio.
100 on Pica Rubio.
80 on Escuela de Oro.
80 on Escuela de Oro.
10 more on Pica Rubio.
10 more on Pica Rubio. 10 more on Escuela de Oro?
No, that's enough.
I'll take 5, 10, 15, $20. Pica Rubio against Escuela de Oro. Escuela de Oro against Pica Rubio.
Is that the ship approaching in the distance? I think it is.
It is the only ship that is supposed to arrive around this time.
Then that must be it. Oh, I'm so excited. Let me look at the picture again, Mama.
How many times are you going to look at it?
Many times. We have to make sure we know what he looks like.
You just like looking at his face.
I think he's elegant and good looking.
That he is, but what is essential is that he has good vocal cords, deep lungs, and a strong voice.
What's more important is that he has good diction when he reads.
As long as he reads with feeling and gusto, I'm content. Look at his face and the way he signs his name.
We have a winner! We have a winner! Escuela de Oro is the winner! Escuela de Oro!
Winner here.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
You're a lucky man.
Next fight, I'll take 5, 10, 15, $20. Cuello de Jaca against Uña Roja.
80 on Cuello de Jaca.
80 on Cuello de Jaca.
80 on Uña Roja.
80 on Uña Roja. Cuello de Jaca against Uña Roja. Uña Roja against Cuello de Jaca.
Don't tell your father, but I took some money from the safe to pay for the lector's trip.
Ah, you did well, Mama.
Oh, I don't feel a bit guilty. Doesn't your father spend his money gambling? Then I'll do as I wish with my money. I'll spend my money on the best lector we can get. Why, the gentleman who recommended him says he is the best lector west of Havana.
Well, I'm glad, because poor old Teodoro used to spit a little too much when he read to us. Sometimes it felt like sprinkles of rain were coming out of his mouth.
Adela, the poor man was 80 years old.
That he was.
Have more respect, he died 3 months ago.
Oh, I respect it. But let the truth be told.
Poor fellow, for 10 years he read to us.
Oh, I loved him. I loved him like an uncle and a grandfather. May he rest in peace. But he should have given up being a lector a long time ago. His heart couldn't take the love stories. He couldn't take the poetry and tragedy in the novels. Sometimes he had to sit down after reading a profound and romantic passage.
That's why I like him, because I knew that he read to us with his heart.
But it was too much. It took him 3 months to read the last novel to us.
But it was wuthering heights. None of us wanted it to end, including you.
Well, I hope this new lector turns out to be as good as Teodoro, because the last...
Look! The ship is getting closer. Oh, I'm so excited. I just wanted to disembark and have it here once and for all.
I'm sure it's going to bring new books from Argentina and Spain and France. There's so many ships and stocks in Cuba.
We have a winner! We have a winner! Uña Roja! Uña Roja is the winner!
Winner here, Uña Roja.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60. Here you go. Ready for the next fight? We have Cola Brava against Falcón de Acero. I'll take 5, 10, 15, $20. Cola Brava against Falcón de Acero.
Lend me some money, KJ.
How much?
200.
I don't lend any money when I'm gambling, and I don't lend any money when I'm drinking.
Are you going to make me walk home to get more money?
Just give it up.
Are you going to make me walk back to my house?
It's not a good night for you. You lost all your money.
Give me some money, KJ. I'll pay you back.
You're drunk, Santiago.
Give me some money and I'll show you my luck. Come on, you got the lucky money. With your lucky money, I'll show you what I can do.
And when are you going to pay me back?
I guarantee you that I'll pay you back.
You've got to give me your word.
I'll give you a word. Give me a paper, I'll sign a paper. You got a paper?
No, I don't have paper.
Then live out here.
What do you mean, look up my foot?
Live out here.
What the hell?
That you have a solid issue.
What
Diablo. How much are you going to lend?
20.
20. Pagarlo. I'm writing 100.
100.
100. There you go.
100.
100, that's what I wrote.
Are you?
I'll pay you back. I'm your brother, for God's sake.
There is the ship. Wave your handkerchief.
Do you see him?
All the men look the same with their hats.
Oh, why do I get so emotional every time I see a ship?
Don't get mad at me, Mama. But I wrote the lector's name on a piece of paper and placed it in a glass of water with brown sugar and cinnamon.
What for?
Carmela, the palm reader, told me that if I sweeten his name, the reader will come our way.
That's like casting a spell on him.
It's only sugar and cinnamon, and it worked.
I told you about spells. It's not right, Manana. One should never alter another person's destiny.
I didn't alter his destiny. With a little sugar, I sweetened his fate.
Ah, that's how brujerias get started, with brown sugar. Then they begin to play with fire. Look at what happened to Rosario. The girl put a spell on her lover and the man died. Not only did she lose her man, she's gone to hell herself.
Did you hear that?
They say she couldn't stop crying. Her whole face became an ocean of tears. The father had to take her back to Cuba to see if she would get better. But a fever would possess the girl at night. They say she ran to the sea naked. She ran to meet the dead lover.
Now you're making me feel awful.
Ready for the next fight? We have Diamante Negro against Cresta Fuerte. I'll take 5, 10, 15, 20 others. Diamante Negro against Cresta Fuerte. Cresta Fuerte against Diamante Negro.
Let go your foot, man.
What for?
Let go your foot and let me have the solution.
What for?
I'm borrowing 200 more.
No, you can't. You're jinxed tonight.
I'll pay you back. Originally, you are ready.
Then cross it
I
out.
can't cross it out. I got my total there. If I don't pay you back, part of the factory is yours.
Then write it down. Write it down. I want it in writing.
I'll write it down. There you go.
Here, let's go.
Well, put on your shoe on me.
No, I'm not putting it on.
Why not?
Because this here is our contract and I don't want it erased.
We are going to what we just want you.
Yes?
Cabron.
Well, there's no sign of him. Let's see if you spoiled it for us.
Don't say that. I'm so nervous I feel I'm going to pee-pee on myself.
Sit that man waving his hat.
Is it? I can't see very well from here.
Nah, he's got to be younger.
How was he going to recognize us?
I told him I was going to wear a brown hat.
Oh Lord, there are more than 50 women with brown hats.
But I told him my hat would have a gardenia.
Sit that man with the blue suit.
No, too fast.
When you get home, take his name out of the sweet water.
Lord, I feel awful. He's nowhere to be found. I'm going home. I'm going home. I ruined it. No, I ruined
I'll
it.
tap you a little bit of shoulder to add to any harm.
No, I don't want to spoil
Don't
it.
be foolish, Maria.
Senora Fede,
Yes?
the gardenia in your hat. Am I correct? Senora Fede.
No.
Say yes, Mama.
Ah, yes, I'm Ophelia.
Juan Julian, please. At your service.
Ophelia. Ophelia, Galah, what an honor. Do you have everything, Senor Julian? Do you have your luggage?
I'll have to tell the steward that I found you.
Okay, go find him. We'll wait here. Mariana, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh dear, but you wet yourself like a child.
I couldn't hold it in, Mama.
I'm here to see Ophelia.
Ophelia hasn't come yet. Can I help you?
She told me she'd be here around this time.
She should be getting here soon. Can I be of any service?
No, thank you. I'll wait.
What are you? A lector?
Yes, I am. I just arrived from the island. Today is my
If you're
first...
looking for a job, we're not hiring.
No, I'm the new lector. Doña
I
Ophelia.
have heard. You've just arrived and I'm telling you, we're not hiring.
Well, I imagine you were not hiring because Senor Ophelia...
Ophelia? The senor, this gentleman is here to see you. I told him we're not hiring.
He's been hired by me, Chester.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, well.
Welcome, Senor Julian. Some of the workers up front told me they already met you. They're very excited with you.
Ah, yes. I was talking to the gentleman wearing the fedora, who sits all the way to the right.
Peppino Bellini. He's the best bunter we have. He's from Napoli. Ah, he has a soft spot for the love stories. He's the one that can be heard singing Neapolitan songs at the end of the day.
And I also met Palomo, the gentleman with the gray cap.
My husband. He is a roller like us.
And then you meet Madonna.
Is she the lady with the picture of Valentino on top of her hair?
Yes, she does the stopping off. She's delighted you are here. Sometimes she is a sea of tears when she listens to the story.
And the gentleman with the handkerchief around his neck.
That's Waltorino from Spain. He does the rapping. A nostalgic at heart, wants to go back to his country and die in Granada.
And the gentleman that was just here.
Chester is a clown.
Marella, we call him Cheche. He is my husband's half-brother. We didn't know he was a part of the family, but one day he showed up at the factory with a birth certificate and said he was my father-in-law's son. So we took him in, and ever since he's been a part of the family, but he is really from the town up north. My father-in-law got around.
I think that my presence offends him.
Oh, that can't be. Don't pay him any mind.
When I entered the factory this morning...
Cheche thinks he owns the factory.
My husband has given him a little too much power, but it is my husband that really runs the factory.
Don't mind him. Cheche has a knack for turning the smallest incident into a loud and tragic event.
But I haven't done anything to the man.
He doesn't like lectores.
He doesn't understand the purpose of having someone like you read stories to the workers.
That has always been the tradition.
Cheche is from another culture.
He thinks lectores are the ones that cause trouble.
True. Why? Because we read novels to the workers. Because we educate them and inform them.
No, it's more complicated than that. His wife ran away from home with a lector.
Marella, he doesn't need to know these things.
But it's true. She disappeared with the lector that was working here. She was a Southern Belgian Atlanta, and he was from Guanajuato. Her skin was pale like a lily, and his is the color of saffron. And of course, now Cheche is against all lectores and love stories they read.
But he can't put the blame.
Cheche thinks the love stories got into her skin. That's why she left.
That's enough, Marella. When all this happened, the poor man was angry, desperate, and sad. He couldn't accept reality, so he blamed the lectores and the love stories for his misfortune.
If he's ever disrespectful, you should talk to our father.
Don't you worry. I'll take care of him.
What are you planning to read to us?
Ah, first, Tolstoy, Anna Karenina.
Anna Karenina.
I already like the title.
Is it romantic?
Yes, quite romantic.
Anna Karenina go right to Cheche's heart.
Poor man. He won't be able to take it.
Well, I could pick another book. I brought many.
No. Read Anna Karenina, if that's the book you chose. He needs to listen to another love story, and that the words make nests in his hair, so you can find another woman.
How do you like Tampa so far, Julian?
Well, it's very, it seems like it's a city in the making.
That it is. We are still trying to create a little city that resembles the one we left back in the island.
It's very curious. There are no mountains or hills here. Lots of sky I noticed. And clouds. The largest clouds that I've ever seen. As if the sky had sucked up the whole sea. And it's all so flat all around. That's why the sky seems so much bigger here in Infinite. Much bigger than the sky I know back home. There's so much light. There doesn't seem to be a place where one can hide.
One can always find shade in the park. There's always a hiding place to be found. And if not, one can always hide behind lights.
Really? And how does one hide behind light?
Depends where you're hiding from.
Perhaps light itself.
Well, there are many kinds of light. The light of fires, the light of stars, light that reflects off rivers, light that penetrates through cracks. Then there's the type of light that reflects off the skin. Which one?
Perhaps the kind that reflects off the skin.
That's the most difficult one to escape.
Ophelia! Ophelia, why didn't Santiago come to work today?
You went to Camacho's house. Is there a problem, Chiche?
No, I'd just like to talk about, will he come by later?
I don't know. What's wrong with your foot?
Oh, it's a long story.
Did
see,
you fall? Did you hurt
No,
yourself?
it's
I know
it's
my
nothing.
feet grow worse each day. If it isn't a bunion hurting, it's an ingrown nail.
No, Ophelia, nothing of the sort.
Why did you walk?
Well, my shoes for work, I took them to the shoemaker yesterday, and they weren't ready today.
So you done your shoes and they hurt your feet?
No, you see, last night, Santiago and I, we went to the cockfight.
Ah, that explains it. You lost all your money and your shoes.
No, I didn't lose my money. Your husband lost all his money and some of mine.
So are you giving me this shoe so I can throw it at him and break his head?
No, Ophelia,
Then what's with this shoe? Are you collecting alms instead of passing it half in the bucket? Are you passing the shoe?
Well, I'm sort of passing it to you.
I don't have any money, Chichi.
I'm not asking you for money.
Why are you pointing the thing at me?
You see here, right here on the sole of my shoe, Santiago wrote how much he owes me.
How much does he owe you?
The total is here.
That's a lot of money.
That's how much he owes me.
And where did you get so much money?
I was winning.
And you drank and gave it away?
No. He wanted to continue playing. He didn't want to walk home to get more money, so I lent him what I had. He told me that he'd sign my shoe and write the totals, and I trust he'll pay me back.
So what do you want me to do?
Well, this here is a bill. A document.
You're not serious.
No, this here is an agreement. If he doesn't pay me, you see here. You see his initial? He signed this. He signed it and he told me that if he didn't pay me, another share of the factory would be mine.
Get this thing out of my sight.
But Ophelia...
Get it out of my sight, I say.
But Ophelia...
I don't know what went on between you and your brother, but I don't have anything to do with it. And you better talk to a shoemaker and get your shoes mended.
Looking at him, Ana Karenina felt a physical humiliation and could not say another word. Her beloved felt what a killer must feel when he looks at the body he has deprived of life. The body he has deprived of life was their love, the beginning of their love. There was something dreadful and revolting in the recollection of what had been paid for by this awful price of shame. The shame, in a sense, from their spiritual nakedness, destroyed her and affected him. But in spite of the killer's horror, when he faces the body of his victim, the killer must cut the body to pieces and conceal it. He must make use of his gain by his crime. With the same fury and passion as the killer throws himself upon the body, drags it and cuts it. He covered her face and shoulders with kisses. Yes, these kisses are what have been bought by my shame. That's all for today. From Ana Karenina.
Why does he always end when he gets the good part?
To keep us in suspense.
To keep us wanting more. He really is a fine lector.
That's why he's called the Persian canary, because it's like hearing a bird sing whenever he reads.
And can you smell the cold from his handkerchief every time he dries his forehead? The
story. Exactly what I expected. Now they'll sigh and chat about the love story for hours.
I heard that, Shay.
Oh, but this is the part I like the most when you start discussing things. For some neat reason, I never hear the story the same way you do.
Neither do I. But maybe that's because we're men.
You're being cynical.
Don't mind him, Marina.
No. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
You did well, Mama, in sending in for him.
Only a fool can fail to understand the importance of having an elector read to us while we work.
Well, Shay not very happy with him.
That's because Che is a fool.
No, I haven't
I
said that.
heard what you told Paloma this morning, and we're not going to do away with elector.
All I
When I
said.
lived in Havana, I don't remember ever seeing a tobacco factory without elector. As a child, I would sit in the back and listen to the stories. That has always been our pride. Some of us cigar workers may not be able to read or write, but we can recite lines from Don Quixote or Jane Eyre.
All I said is that I'm afraid we're in for another tragic love story.
I like love stories.
Me too.
I would have preferred a detective story.
They're not very literary, Chester.
Well, I don't know about you, but ever since he's been reading Anna Karenina, my mind wanders to Russia.
Me too. I have dreams, and they're full of white snow. And Anna Karenina's dancing balls Vronsky. Then I see them in a little room, and all the snow melts in the heat of their body and skin. And I just want to borrow for a cloak for my friend, Ugi Salazar, and go to Russia.
You chose the right book. There's nothing like reading a winter book in the middle of the summer. It's like having a fan or an ice box next to you to relieve the heat in the glorious nights.
Help me with the boxes.
And what was that last line? And as with fury and passion, the killer throws himself upon
Upon the body, he said, and drags it and cuts it. He covered her face and shoulders with kisses.
Does it mean that when you're in love, your body is stolen from life?
No, the body robbed of life was their love, the love that Anna felt for her beloved.
Must be terrible living that way.
Why?
How the three of them lived. Anna, her husband, and the lover. It must have been a nightmare.
Of course not.
Yes, Anna said it herself. It's like a curse, she said. She was talking about it at the end, when she said that her kisses had been bought by her shame. She's got to be miserable.
Miserable. Enraptured, maybe.
You don't listen to the story, Marina.
Of course I listen to the story.
And you ought to know it's mystery for her. It's pure agony for Anna Karenina's husband, and for the lover, too. They probably wouldn't be able to endure it any longer if it weren't for some kind of hope.
Then why would she take on a lover?
She has no choice. It's something she can't escape. That's why the writer describes love as a thief. The thief is the mysterious fever that poets have been studying for years. Remember Anna Karenina's last words?
She never remembers anything.
I do. I just don't cling to every word the way you do. I don't try to understand everything they say. When Juan Julian starts reading, the story enters my body, and I become the second skin of the characters.
Don't be silly.
We can always dream.
Ah, yes, but we have to take a yardstick and measure our dreams.
Then I'll do a very long yardstick, the kind that can measure the sky.
How foolish you are, Marina.
No, everything in life dreams. A bicycle dreams of becoming a boy. An umbrella dreams of becoming the rain. A pearl dreams of becoming a woman. And a chair dreams of becoming a gazelle and running back to the
But
forest.
my child, people like us, we have to remember to keep our feet on the ground and stay living inside our shoes and not have lofty illusions. Ah, good. Workday has come to an end. I have broke more than 200 cigars today.
And I butted more than 1,000. That's what I like about putting the bands around the cigars. It's like marrying all these men without actually seeing them.
Men marry their cigars, my dear, and the white smoke becomes the veil of their bride. My mother used to say that when a man marries, he marries two women, his bride and his cigar. Are you coming, Coquita?
No, Paloma and I are working till late.
We'll see you for dinner then. Adios.
Adios.
Till later, Paloma.
Adios.
your father in trouble again, and that's why he did it?
He is.
How much did he lose this time?
Plenty.
Plenty can be a lot of money.
Yes, you're right. And I don't know what good he gets from losing all that money.
Oh, that's something we'll never know.
Do you like the novel Juan Julián is reading to us?
I like it very much.
Does it make you uncomfortable?
Why would it make me uncomfortable?
The part about the lover.
It seems in every novel there's always a love affair.
But do you ever think of what's happening between Ana Karenina and her husband?
I do. But I
So what goes through your mind when you listen to the story?
think of the money all those people have.
You would say something like that.
Why? Because I like money?
No, I am talking about literature. And you talk about money.
And what do you want me to say?
I want you to talk about the story, the characters.
Wouldn't you like to have all the money they have? So you don't have to spend the whole day rolling cigars and working after hours so we can save money and have our own business?
I don't mind rolling cigars.
What's so good about rolling cigars?
My mind wanders to places.
What places?
Places and things money can't buy.
Money can buy everything.
Not the places I go in my mind.
And what kind of places are you talking about?
Places made of dreams.
You are a strange creature, Conchita. I don't know why I married you.
You married me because the day I met you, I gave you a cigar I had rolled specially for you. And when you smoked it, you said that I had slipped into your mouth like a pearl diver.
I told you that?
Yes, you did. After blowing a blue ring of smoke, and the words lingered in the air like a zeppelin, and I said to myself, I could fall in love with that mouth.
As far as I can remember, I married you because I couldn't untie your father's hands from around my neck.
That explains everything. You never really cared for me.
Are you trying to start a fight?
No, I am trying to have a simple conversation with you about a love story, and you are being foolish.
Never mind.
You don't care about anything, do you? When Julián could be reading a book by José Martí or Shakespeare, and the words just go in one ear and out the other.
I pay attention to what he reads. I just don't take everything to heart the way you do.
Well, you should. Do you remember that part in the book in which Ana Karina's husband is suspicious of her having an affair with Vronsky? Remember how he paces the room like a lost animal?
I know what you're getting at.
I just want to have a civilized conversation with you. The same way characters do in the novel. I've learned many things with this book.
Such as?
Jealousy. For Anna's husband, jealousy is base and almost animalistic. He's right. He would have loved her to think that he's capable of such vile and shameful emotions.
But you can't help being jealous. It's part of your nature.
Not anymore.
Well, that's a change.
I can see the husband so clear in the novel. How the thoughts would take shape in his mind, as they have in my own mind. I mean, not the same. No, not the same. Because he is an educated man surrounded by culture and wealth. And, well, I am just a cigar roller in a factory. He is well-bred and sophisticated. I barely get by in life. But with this book, I am seeing everything through new eyes. What is happening in the novel has been happening to us. Don't look at me that way. You might not be able to admit it. What's happening between Ana Karenina and her husband reminds me of us. Except I am more like the husband.
And what does that make me then? Ana Karenina?
You're the one having the sacred love, not me.
Oh, come on! It's late. Let's go home. I can't work on this.
That's exactly what Anna said in the novel, when he confronted her. It's late. Let's go to sleep.
I think you're taking this a little too far.
Mama, have you ever heard the voice of someone who's deaf? The voice is crude and ancient because it has no sense of direction or place. Because it doesn't hear its sound and it doesn't know if anyone in the world ever hears it. Sometimes I want to have a long conversation with you, like this, like a deaf person, as if I could hear you or myself and I would just talk and say anything that comes to mind. Like a shell that shouts with the voice of the sea and it doesn't care if anyone in the world ever hears it. That's how I want to talk to you and say things to you.
And what's the use of talking like this? What sort of things do you want to ask me?
Things you would not tell me. Afraid I might not understand.
Like what?
I'd like to know what she's like. What does she do to make you happy? What?
Because I don't want to talk about these things!
What's going to happen to us, Palomo?
I don't know. Do you want a divorce? We could travel to Reno and be divorced in 6 weeks. But your family will be close to it and the same with mine, so divorce is out of the question.
What if I told you that I want to cut my hair, change the way I dress, and take on a lover?
Say that again.
You heard me.
You want to have a lover?
Yes, like you.
Ave Maria Purísima!
I have the same right as you do.
This book will be the end of us!
Don't you think we've already come to an end?
No!
You don't make love to me the way you used to.
You and I would...
It's all right. Hello, it's all right. There's something that Anna said in the novel, and I keep repeating it to myself. There are as many minds as there are heads. Then there are as many kinds of love as there are hearts. I can try to love you in a different way. I can do that. And you try to do the same thing.
Come here.
wedding ring.
Tell him he should have done that a long time ago.
She's right. I should have done it a long time ago.
Yes, before his finger got numb.
She's right. My finger got numb.
You see, I was right. Numb, like everything else.
Oh, she's wrong. Not like everything else.
Nothing works on his body. This is rotten teeth which do away money.
I'm leaving.
Marina!
You can fight without me.
I've been listening to the new lector from up here.
You have?
He's good. He has a solid voice, and I like the novel he's reading.
Yes, a solid voice he has. And I like the novel too.
I especially like the character that lives in the countryside.
Yes?
Yes, him.
The one that has the farm.
Yes, the one that has the farm. What is his name?
His name is Levine.
Oh, that's right, Levin.
The one that lives in the forest surrounded by trees.
That Levin reminds me of me when I was young, and my father left me to run the factory. It seems as if Levin has dedicated his whole life to his farm.
Yes, he is a dedicated man.
Oh, I used to be like him.
Yes, you used to be like him.
I like the part in the book when Anna's brother is going to sell the estate next to Levin's property, and Levin counsels him not to sell it.
Yes, that is a good part. And I can't believe you almost gave another share of the factory away to J.J.
Yes, you're right. I lost my mind. I shouldn't drink.
That's right, drink you shouldn't. That's an idiotic thing to do, give away another share of the business. J.J. doesn't know what he's doing. He's like a scarecrow. He's talking about bringing in machines and replacing some of the workers. You need to go back to the factory.
Yes, you're right. The factory, I need to go back.
Santiago, what's eating you? You haven't gone to work. You don't eat. You don't sleep
I
well.
am like a fool, Ophelia. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm angry and bitter, and I can shake off this damn anger.
You want me to call it doctor?
No, I don't need a doctor.
But you can't go on like this. Sooner or later, you have to go back and face the workers.
I will. When I get the money and I can face J.J.
Are you going to stay here until then?
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, that's the way I am.
And I'm going to bed.
Ophelia,
Yes?
stay up a while longer.
I'm tired. You didn't work like I did today.
Talk to me about the novel. This fellow Levin, this character I admire, is the one in love with the young girl, isn't he?
He's in love with Kitty. Levine is in love with Kitty. And Kitty is in love with Vronsky. And Vronsky is in love with Anna Karanina. Anna Karanina is married, but she's in love with Vronsky. Everybody's in love.
But for Levin, there's only one woman.
Yes, for him there is only one woman.
Ophelia?
Yes.
No, nothing.
This night breeze is making its way towards the end. There's nothing like this Tampa breeze. Always a punctual visit around this time.
You know, Ophelia, when I gamble, I try to repeat the same motions. I try to repeat everything I did the day I won. And when I lose, I try to take inventory of everything I did wrong. I think to myself, did I get up from bed with my left foot first? Did I forget to polish my shoes? Did I leave the house in a state of disorder? Was I unkind to someone, and that's why luck didn't come my way? Lately, I've been in a fog, and I don't know what to do. Every time I lose, I feel that something has been taken from me. something bigger than money. I see a line of little ants carrying breadcrumbs on their backs. But the crumbs are taken away, and my pride, my self-respect, my dignity. Have I lost you too, Ophelia? Have I lost you too?
If you had lost me, I wouldn't be here. If you had lost me, I wouldn't be by your side. How can you say that you lost me?
I don't really like cities. In the country, one has freedom. When I'm in a city, I feel asphyxiated. The air feels thick and dense as the buildings breathe and steal away the oxygen. As my father used to say, living in a city is like living inside the mouth of a crocodile. Buildings all around you like teeth, the teeth of culture, the mouth and tongue of civilization. It's a silly comparison, but it makes sense to me. Every time I go to a park, I'm reminded of how we always go back to nature. We build streets and buildings. We work 5 to 6 days a week, building and cementing our paths. And down come tumbling trees and nests, a whole paradise of insects. And all for what? On Sundays we return to a park where we can still find the greenery, the verdure of nature.
Yes, you're right. I don't know what I would do without my walks to the park. Why did you choose to read Tolstoy?
Because Tolstoy understands humanity like no other writer does.
Well, that's a good enough reason to read him.
Someone told me that at the end of his life, when he knew he was going to die, he abandoned his house and was found dead at a train station. The same as, or perhaps I shouldn't tell you this.
No, he was probably on his way to visit God.
That has always been my suspicion.
Pardon me, but I must go.
Why did you choose to be a lector?
I discovered books one summer. My father owed a lot of money to a creditor. We had to close ourselves up in our house to hide for a while. For my family, keeping up appearances was important. We had to pretend that we had gone away on a trip. We told neighbors that my mother was ill, and she had to recuperate somewhere else. I remember it was hot, and all the windows were kept closed. We stayed in that closed-up house for more than 2 months, while my father worked abroad. The heat was unbearable. The maid was the only one who went out to buy groceries. And, after a while, my mother read books to the family. And that's when I became a listener. I learned to appreciate stories and the sound of words. Have you ever been to New England?
No.
I have always wanted to go there. I wonder what New Englanders are like. Here I have met workers from other parts of the world, but I haven't met anyone from up north.
Cheche is from up north.
Cheche is from a world of his own.
I know a fellow from New London. He was modest and reserved. So shy was this boy that when he expressed any sort of feeling, he would excuse himself. One day I gave him a braid I'd come from my hair and told him to bury it under a tree. I explained to him that back at the island, most women cut their hair once a year on the 2nd of February when plants and trees are pruned for the feast in a box and told him to bury it under a tree. The boy looked at me with a strange face and said that he would feel embarrassed digging a hole in front of everybody in the middle of the park. And that's when I took the brake back from him, took a shovel, dug a hole, and put him to shame. From then on, he never spoke to me again. And, well, that's the only person from New England that I've met.
And you still cut your hair on the 2nd of February?
Yes, my father does me the honor of wearing it.
Your father? And why not your husband? It should be an honor for any man. If I was your husband, I would choose an old, wise banyan tree, and I would bury your hair by its roots. And I'm sure you would accept the offering like a rainwater.
Well, I am cutting my hair like Clara Bow. And that would be the end of the ritual.
I would offer to find a strong-looking tree, but the ritual won't count if it's not done on February 2nd.
Oh, I believe everything counts if you have faith.
So are you telling me I should find a strong-looking tree?
Yes, if you wish.
And why me?
Because you are the reader of love stories, and anyone who dedicates his life to reading books believes in rescuing things from oblivion.
So is there a story in your hair?
There will be, the day I cut it. And that story will come to an end.
And how does one read the story in your hair?
Same way one reads a vase or a book.
Then we shouldn't bury your hair under a tree. We should place it inside a manuscript. The same way Victorian women used to place a flower or a lock of hair in between the pages of a book.
Then I would leave it to you to choose a book.
How about this one?
My hair will be in good company with Anna Karenina.
Close your eyes and choose a page. At first, Anna sincerely thought that she was annoying because he insisted on pursuing her. But very soon after her return from Moscow, when she went to an evening party where she expected to see him, but which he did not attend, she came to the realization with the sadness that overwhelmed her that she was deceiving herself.
And here,